The Stellaron Hunters are a peculiar bunch. They all come from different planets with stories that range from tragic to a criminal to someone who is so talented that they left their world out of boredom. And these guys are always right by our side, but always right out of view. They helped us in the Shanjo story, they were involved in Penacony, and they watched over us in Amphorius. And most importantly, they are the very reason we are on this journey in the first place and met our family of trailblazers. So what are these guys doing in this world of Elation, where people compete to become Aha, whatever that means? Well, because of Elio, we can be sure that the Stellaron Hunters never do anything for no reason when the script is involved. And when it isn't, things like the Fortnite collab happens. These guys go on side quests, but this will not be the case in Planarcadia, and in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly why. Because in the last video, I talked about Yaoguang, Sparksy, and Nihilux, and in this video, I will be addressing the two Stellaron Hunters and Ashvale. So let's get into this. Because this is the new cast of Planarcadia Explained. Okay, so first things first, it is hilarious that I somehow predicted Nihilux writing fanfic about the Aeons and going so far as to ship them with each other. That is just hilarious and not the prediction I was expecting to get right. But hey, like I said before, Nova tends to get things right more often than he should. And I would like to follow this up by taking note of some foreshadowing Hoyo snuck into this improv tour trailer. Because if you look at this short appearance from the Lord Ravagers, one of them is directly facing off with us, the Trailblazer. And it is none other than the Elation hater himself, Asat Pramad. So I think it is all but confirmed that Dice Head Hatman will show up in Planarcadia. Or Hoyo could just confirm your boy's suspicions right here, right now, because as I'm editing this video, this Myriad Celestia drop showing none other than Asat Pramad making his presence known. Your boy doesn't miss, but I'll see you later because I'm gonna have to cut in some more later. Back to the video. But there is something even crazier here, because when you look past the jokes of how silly this all is, they just confirmed my universal reset theory in the most low-key way possible. And yes, I promise this will link back to the Stellaron Hunters. Let me explain. I made this theory a few weeks ago on the origin of the cosmos based off of the fact that Xandar tells us that Amphorius is a microcosm of the cosmos. So the moment Nanook wins, fully ascends and resets everything just like Cyrene, with the Trailblazer being the world bear who goes back in time like Caslana trying to find the good ending. And the finale followers, aka the Stellaron Hunters, sit outside of time like the cosmic Theoros, simply observing our successes and failures, trying to create the perfect route to end the cycles once and for all. And this is all confirmed with something so gloriously subtle. After she says, "Will they die?" Female Aha says, "No! Why must you kill them again?" Again? Again? You mean like what happened in the cycle Dahlia showed us? Confirming that this all happens in cycles? Because the way Dahlia explains finality leaves open the possibility that alternate timelines do not need to happen for Elio to see them. But this confirms my every suspicion. We now know exactly how the finality works. All of these cycles of us dying and Elio taking note of each and every single time we fail is what gave rise to the script. Elio has a script because we failed so many times he has mapped out what we need to avoid in order to stay alive. That is how the script works. It's like Caslana going back and remembering each and every single time he had to kill the Chrysosairs and having everything down to the sentences they say, knowing that if they say certain things they will fight him and if they say other things they will cooperate.
In the cycles where you've asked this question, the endings haven't been so cruel.
Well, thank you for that. But I also believe that this time, you won't catch up to me. No one can catch up to me. I'm no longer running to escape anymore.
Whether you believe me or not, I'll still tell you this. You've made the wrong decision.
And in this way, he had his own script. He just never found one that worked. He needed someone who wasn't from his world to step up to become the deliverer. In Emphorius, it was us, and in this universe, it is none other than Welt Yang. He who came here with the Void Archives, just like we showed up with Dan Heng. But that all aside, when the Trailblazer is shown in the coffin, Remembrance Crystals, specifically Shattered Lumen Flux Crystals that March 7th and Cyrene are created from, surround the coffin, further confirming that this is how the reset works. We are the trigger. The Trailblaze is the origin of the paths, and everything resets the moment we die. It is a double entendre. When you cut on the captions, you see that when Aha says, "Why must you kill them again?" the them is in all caps, referring to Akavili, but the Trailblazer is in the coffin, so it's a double meaning here. Because we know that we haven't been to Planarcadia yet, and the Express isn't said to have been there even when Aha blew it up. And Akavili was not destroyed by Nanook as far as we know, but we do know that in the other endings, the Express is destroyed, triggering a bad ending. So this means if the Trailblaze dies, everything resets. But things get even crazier, because my other theory about Nanook's blood being able to revive the dead and heal things is also completely confirmed. Because Aha stabs Nanook, they bleed onto the coffin, and they cut before Akavili or us revives. Because Aha does say, "Arise my Akavili," so besides the solo leveling reference, that is what their goal was. So we know for a fact that the Avatar of Entropy, Aeon of Destruction, bleeds the opposite of what they are. The duality of Nanook. Being split in half, life and death, healing and harm, entropy and negentropy. They even mention the fact that Nanook has no legs. It's like they watched my video.
You lost your legs, but I've lost my love.
I knew I wasn't crazy for bringing that up. It's all coming together, and the Stellaron Hunters are here too to make sure we don't die again, because our life is in danger once again. But our former family is here to gently nudge the plot onto the right path so that the crisis is averted, just like always. They are going to be playing Guardian Angel in this story, probably more often than they normally do, because Asat Pramad is far from the lobotomized killing machine Iron Tomb was. This guy is the chess master for a reason, presenting a threat unlike anything we have ever faced before. And as for why they are turning into Elation type characters, I couldn't tell you for Blade, but for Silverwolf this makes perfect sense. Because first she was a Nihility type character because she sees life itself as a game and thereby rather trivial since she can use ether editing to hack the fabric of reality, a skill that we really need to see in action more often because that sounds broken and awesome. So her Nihility side is more focused on the side of her life referencing why she left her home world of Punklord. She beat the world and was bored. I'm not joking, that's just her backstory. So even though we don't know what character arcs Brawny and Blade will go through, we can kinda see what's going on here for Silverwolf's future. The difference between Nihility and Elation is just the denial of apathy when it really comes down to it. So that is the role I think the Stellaron Hunters will have in Planarcadia. And to add on to this, apparently Blade is ready to have some fun. Still no news on that. I don't know what he means by that. I don't like the sound of it, to be honest with you. But Silverwolf got an upgrade from Elio, and she looks just like Bronya's Hersher of Truth form. I love it. And apparently the way this ends isn't in the script, so that means that just like how we saw Cypher go from the safe road with Castellana then swap to certain death, the Elation is a path of unpredictability. So the ending isn't going to be something Elio has seen before, but that's not going to stop me from trying to predict it anyway. Moving on. But what about this wild card, Ashvale? Well, it's time for some healthy speculation, of course, because we know absolutely nothing about this guy, other than the fact that he quite clearly looks like a Galaxy Ranger. If Boothill's family wasn't carpet bombed by Oswaldo, I'd say this was his brother, but yeah, never mind. Anyway, the Galaxy Rangers could have something to do with this world as well. Why? Well, for two reasons. One, because Dr. Primitive is probably going to show up here sooner or later and they are chasing him, and two, because Yao Guang is also here. But Nova, what do the Galaxy Rangers have to do with Yao Guang? Well, it just so happens that ever since the disappearance of the Galaxy Ranger leader La Mancha, the Xianzhou and the Galaxy Rangers haven't had the close relationship that they should have as hunt followers. And it just so happens that the Yutre is the Xianzhou flagship that is taking up the goal of searching for La Mancha. Yes, Yao Guang's flagship is searching for the Galaxy Rangers leader. So Ash Vale, if he is in fact a Galaxy Ranger, is most likely here to speak with Yao Guang to establish some connections and share intel. Because it is strange, but not all hunt followers have a vendetta against the Abundance. Galaxy Rangers are just in it for the vigilante side of Lan's justice. Because, you know, the cruising Aeon known as the Rainbow Arbiter roams endlessly between worlds to eradicate the undead scourges that once ravaged their homeworld. Lan themselves probably sees this as just the Abundance, but the Galaxy Rangers see this as literally anything that plagues their homeworld, and this is why Rappa is a Galaxy Ranger and hunt follower. Why her type is Elation comes down to the fact that she was created by Erudition followers under Dr. Primitive, and speaking of the Doctor, judging by the fact that he joined her to Zoom meeting just for his own amusement, he's most likely an Elation-centered genius. So other than the fact that Hoyo said themselves that geniuses could show up here in this world of Elation, Mr. Return to Monkey is likely to show up here just because of his ties to Elation in general. But back to the Galaxy Rangers. Because also, it is possible that the Elation followers know something of La Mancha's whereabouts. Because Sparkle did say something about freeing a broken-legged wolf that meant a lot to Boot Hill. So again, we don't know, but the pieces are in place. And indeed, the pieces are in place. Because our potential Galaxy Ranger Ash Vale was not only shown right after Boot Hill and Rappa, and this other woman that we don't know who this is, or at least I don't know yet, but also because he had the wolf symbol given emphasis as the camera pans away. Broken-legged wolf, huh, Sparkle? Ash Vale is walking with a cane. I think there's something wrong with his leg. It could be injured. So I think we found him, huh, guys? I think we found him. We got so many drops in this video. We also saw Steven for the first time. He's a kid. Maybe it's good he wasn't in the call with Polka. Keep little bro safe, guys. We gotta keep little bro safe. But on a side note, just getting the rest of my thoughts out here, unfortunately Jade seems to have taken Himiko's proposal to heart, and the IPC is now pushing for a Cosmic Alliance angle. This is bad. And not just because the Cosmic Alliance logo here looks like a League of Legends master emote. Way too many red flags here. I can't be the only one that sees this. I'm more worried about that than Asat Pramad, to be honest with you. But that's pretty much all of my thoughts on this after going over it a few times, so I'll leave it to Pass Nova to close things out. Take us out, me. Once again, everyone has their own missions and motives, and Yao Guang could be involved with Ron Mei, the Galaxy Rangers, the Finality, and the Remembrance, looking into the whole Guan Yin Buddhism thing. The Stellaron Hunters are protecting us backstage, as always, and the destruction is waiting in the wings, ready to draw a smiley face on this world of Elation. Because this is the new cast of Planarcadia Explained. Y'all just had to know that when Hoyo dropped this trailer, I was going to be all over it. Not gonna lie, I did not see female-coded AHA being a thing, but now I can't see it any other way. I know the Aeons are genderless, but come on, Sheepe, Ouroboros, Anna, Fu Li, and Drilla Terminus, maybe? Guan Yin, the Thousand-Armed Bodhisattva, is presented as female a lot of the time, and particularly in Chinese culture, so I guess that makes Nanook a bit of a lady killer in many different ways. But jokes aside, if all goes to plan, next up I'll be talking about the live stream, which means I will be delaying my upload to late Friday, so watch out for that. And of course, we still gotta talk about why Evanescia is so special, because trust me, she needs her own video, because there is more than one of her. But what do you guys think? Be sure to let me know, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace, y'all.